battery lasts longer. I have 250 remaining. The order is going to be domestic infrastructure, then reform, then the disad, then the case in order. I meet port efficiency, the largest problem facing American transportation infrastructure from the World Shipping Council in 2001. The most important challenges to the efficient movement of America's commerce are the inefficiency of the landside operations transportation infrastructure that interferes with maritime transportation. Second, I meet 100% requirements mandate new technology in ports, even American ports. The plan removes the requirement for performing the physical port from Jermansky in 2009. At the present time, U.S. ports utilize PVT portal machines. Congress is expecting the new portal machines will be developed and commercialized for dangerous detect radiation. Third, the counter-interpretation. Reform means to reform, to abolish abuse or malpractice, as in to reform the government. This means that topical plans should change the transportation infrastructure policy with the intent of abolishing abuse. I meet the interpretation cross-apply that port efficiency is the largest problem facing maritime transportation. The plan removes abusive government practices. This interpretation is best because first it limits the amount of policy government transportation infrastructure is far more limited than the number of individual sites of physical infrastructure the government could reform, making my interpretation more limited. Their interpretation would allow physical changes to any single road or airport terminal, delimiting the topic. And the identified limits is a key internally interpreted building ground, which means if we win the standard, we win the standards debate. And is ground. Plans which reform overall policies are relating to physical infrastructure impact nation-wide infrastructure rather than new details of a single road. This gives to disadvantages in counterplan ground that their interpretation will allow the act to avoid. Additionally, he has been unable to specify what type of ground he has lost, don't, or will on potential abuse would be like if he ran a potential argument. Last on the voters. Use the standard of reasonability to evaluate this topicality. It's not only codified in the rules, but it's also most fair to me. If I can prove to you that I'm reasonably topical, then vote for the affirmative. Go to reform. Cross-apply the counter-interpretation of reform. All I have to do is improve the status quo. I think I'm doing that since I'm righting a future wrong, as said in cross-examination. The standards are educational value. Our interpretation allows for a wide range of plans which will be severely limited by a more narrow interpretation. This encourages the widest breadth of research, maximizing the educational value of debate by introducing debaters to a variety of policy areas and predictability. Debates over topicality detract from the sport of debate by moving the focus away from the plan itself. Therefore, you should prefer the interpretation that is most likely to be found and taken into account by the greatest number of participants before the competition against making a common dictionary definition superior to the obscure technical reference. His first standard is accessibility, but my definition comes from the internet too, so I also check back on this. Additionally, cross-apply the reasonability standard and the ability that he does not articulate any ground abuse, don't vote on potential abuse. Go to the disad. First, turn. The 100% requirement would raise the cost of shipping and driving ships to cheaper, less secure ports and increasing opportunities for terrorist groups from Curafano in 2008. Americans would gain little insecurity. Shippers may respond by shifting their operations to less expensive ports. The inspections might make Americans less safe by driving business to third world ports that are easier for terrorists to penetrate. And turn. Blanket scanning diminishes the quality and searches in favor of quantity and leads to a net decrease in overall security from McNeil in 2008. The U.S. dedication to blanket scanning seriously compromises security. Blanket scanning provides less security because of the rate of error associated with attempting to scan the massive amounts of cargo heading towards the U.S. every day. The more cargo scanned, the less attention given to each piece of cargo. And terrorists can easily bypass screening from Medallia in 2005. Terrorists might detonate a weapon before it is inspected. Terrorists could infiltrate ports. Securing every U.S. bound container might lead terrorists to smuggle weapons to a small boarded airplane. Detecting a highly enriched bomb is difficult because HE-US emits little variation. And if terrorism was a threat, it would have already happened by now, from Mueller in 2006. If it is so easy to pull off an attack, why have they not done it? Why have they not been sniping at people, collapsing tunnels, poisoning food, derailing trains, exploiting other vulnerabilities like ports? One explanation is that almost no terrorists exist in the U.S. and few have the means to strike from abroad. And terrorism is not a threat from a client in 2007. It may be time to assess proclamations about the threat terrorism presents. They seem akin to Cold War concerns posed to domestic communists. The enemy forces total less than 150 actual people. The threat presented by these individuals is likely to fade away unless, of course, the U.S. overreacts to enhance their numbers. Another useful value of the threat is a focus on the amount of violence perpetuated out since 9/11 outside of war zones. The number killed comes at 200 or 300 per year. That, of course, is too many, but it hardly suggests that perpetrator is a major threat, much less an existential one. Over the same period, the far more people have drowned in bathtubs. Terrorist acts tend to be counterproductive. Before hotels were bombed, 25% of Jordanians viewed but not favorably. After that fell to 1%. After years of sleuthing, the FBI has been unable to uncover a single Al-Qaeda cell in the United States. There's only risk of the turns on the disend. Let's go to case. All of his arguments are going to be defensive at best. Group the non-uniques. This is an unprecedented restricting of U.S. trade because not all ports are going to be able to ship. We're going to just blatantly turn stuff away. This is not a tax or a tariff. We're going to outright reject a large portion of the cargo. So all of uniques on the Iraqi market hasn't even been passed, and doesn't matter if it's an old mandate, it doesn't come into effect until 2012. These are these are the most significant barriers we've ever imposed on our trade, even worse than the protection policies of World War II. Also, the WTO was created a year before the Spicer Card was written, so the impact is still unique. Even the risk of this is going to outweigh the discount on magnitude, because if we have a terror attack against the United States, that would disrupt all trade. So even though we have to impose some restrictions on trade, no other way. Never mind. There's no threat of a terror attack. So this is going to cause all the bad things happening when we're getting arrested with trade wars. Go to relations. Again, this is all defense at best. First he says that there's no type of cooperation, but the story is pretty clear coming out of the shell. Like, stand it all through. It says that we need to cooperate with Europe by signaling that we are going to make a concession. That allows us to pursue cooperation with other means. He only says it's not the same type of cooperation, but it enables the energy security cooperation. So now you can extend it. Russia is going to create more energy wars. It doesn't matter if they don't know where they're going to attack first. The fact is that they've already tried to manipulate Ukraine. They've already even attacked Georgia. All of this stems over security issues trying to control that part of the globe.
Can I see the form of counter-interpretation?